Okay, welcome in everybody, and we're glad to be with you today on Ashish's Sports and Political Podcast. Wherever you may, wherever you may be listening, whatever situation you're in, we're glad to have you view this program and listen in. Excited as always to begin a new session with new topics and interesting perspective as always, right? So yesterday I finished the show saying, number one, that this today's show, Friday's show, was going to be more politically centric, talking about social issues, race, uh, gay marriage, the gay marriage law, transgenders, immigration, right? Well, we're still going to talk about it, but two bombshells came out. One in the last 10 minutes. The other one at 8 in the morning in the NFL that are very important, that are very new, and one that shows you what I was talking about earlier this week when it comes to the hot girl syndrome, the I care about what other people think of me, and I'm going to prove them wrong if they think bad. Right? I'm going to show them that I'm better. I'm going to humiliate them. I'm going to be that great guy. Right? So, I speculated this. It mostly came from Colin Cowherd. He was the major voice of this for the last couple months. On this idea that Belichick has been doing things so out of the ordinary for him. Trading away quarterbacks, getting his assistants ready for jobs, that something must be up. That there has to be some type of dissent within the organization, and he concluded that this dissent was from Tom Brady and Robert Kraft's relationship, leading to Robert Kraft saying, "We're trading Garoppolo. If we're choosing between Garoppolo and Brady, Garoppolo is the guy that's gonna go. He's the guy that's gonna get traded because Tom Brady has brought me all this success. I'm friends with Tom Brady. He's like a son to me. And I believe he has 5 to 6 more years left, and we can win a couple, if not more, Super Bowls with Tom Brady." Bill Belichick. And again, if you think this is all football, like I said with the Trump fake news thing, like I said with Kyrie and LeBron, like I said with Shaq and Kobe, it was not about evolving as basketball players entirely. I mean, yes, they wanted to do that, but it's not strictly about that. It's about perception. Can you lead a team by yourself? Can you win by yourself? Can you show that you can win the presidency, that you can be a decent president, that you're good at this? That's why Trump tweets attacks at the media so often, just to not only control the narrative, but to get back at them for what he perceives as slight during the campaign and during the election cycle, the reason Kobe wanted Shaq out is not just to evolve, but as a payback to show, hey, you guys didn't think I could be a number one option? Here you go. And I won titles with it. That's what Kyrie's trying to do. That's the same thing that we see with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Bill Belichick understands that the media especially the pundit-based media in talk sports, never gives him credit because it's impossible to give credit to someone when things aren't tangible. You don't see Bill Belichick doing things situationally on the field. I mean, he's not playing. He's not directly impacting the game as far as we can see from the naked eye, right? In a way that's tangible and is shown clearly, right? Tom Brady does. Tom Brady's the one making the throws. Tom Brady is the one on the field. It looks like he's making the audibles, the play calls, everything like that. He's the one directing the offense. Bill Belichick is not. And that's why we give Tom Brady the credit for this dynasty that they built, because he is the guy on the field producing the final successful product. He's orchestrating it in a way that's tangible, that we can see, that we can comprehend, that Bill Belichick isn't, because we don't know the coach's impact. As much as we can say we know, as much as we can say we understand, we slight the coach's impact. We don't understand it. We don't appreciate it as much because it's not tangible. There's nothing that can correlate to, hey, this coach is doing a good job, like a quarterback having success can to a team doing a good job or winning a game or playing well. Because the quarterback position, it's on the field, he directs the offense, he makes the decisions where to put the ball, where to throw the ball. He's experienced, so now he even makes the run checks. Right, Tom Brady is the most tangible representative or figure of that Patriots offense and of that Patriots team. So we undervalue, I think, to an extent, what Bill Belichick has done, especially on the personnel side. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, and this is a foreshadowing of what's going to come next for me. This isn't my main point. This is just how we view football. The players on the field have a bigger impact than the coaches, because we see the players do the things required to win, make the reads, make the plays, go through the progressions, all those things, specifically at the quarterback position. We see nothing tangible with Bill Belichick. We see nothing tangible with it. What we do see that is somewhat tangible is that he makes all the player personnel decisions. And he's made some great ones, getting rid of players before they hit their hit their rock bottom, and acquiring new players and new pieces to fit that can enhance the philosophy. We know he's a defensive coach, that he has a large influence, right, on how the defense is run. And we also know that he is a great evaluator of schematic coaches. Adam Gase, Josh McDaniels, right? Matt Patricia. He can figure out who coaches well, who comes up with the right schemes. And he figures out which players fit the scheme and which players to get out of there before the scheme is ruined. Alright? But that goes under the radar because even though that helps mightily in the product on the field, Tom Brady is the field general. He is more tangible. We see a quarterback making the decisions, making the throws. What we don't see is a defensive end reading the offensive line leverage. We don't see that. We see a sack. So he's a good player, but we don't see the scheme that Belichick is trying to run. Most of us don't. We don't see how those players fit the scheme and why Belichick is so brilliant in bringing certain players over to fit his specific scheme. We don't see his genius. It's not very tangible on the field because we like offense. We pay attention to the quarterback. And because the quarterback nowadays runs all the offense. We understand or we can comprehend how great he is. It's tangible, as I've said already. Bill Belichick's work is not. So it's therefore underappreciated as a result. Because of this, right, you see an importance that's given to Tom Brady, an importance in the media that's given to Tom Brady because of the perception, because of the legacy that he is the field general, that he runs everything, he keeps himself in shape, he's this ultra competitive dude. He makes all the decisions, run checks, pass checks, he's an accurate passer, he's an all-time great. Bill Belichick goes to the wayside. Now, we assume a coach is important because that's just what we assume. But we also assume a quarterback is more important than a system because he is the guy that makes all the decisions on the field. That's tangible. That's understandable. We see it. We know it happens. But what we don't take into account is possibly how the greatness of a coach can directly affect the greatness of a player on the field. And because of this, because of a lot of people in the media not knowing X's and O's very well, neither do I, to be honest with you. I don't know what impact Belichick has. But for 17 years, to hear local media, to hear national media talk about one guy in a system that you set up while you're not getting enough credit for putting together that system in the first place, full of top-ranked assistants, top-ranked players that fit your system. You're the CEO, you run everything, you're not getting the credit. It must hit your ego, and it must hit every single time. Because every single time we give Brady more credit than he deserves, not probably more credit, we do give him more credit than he deserves for the Seattle Championship, for the Atlanta Championship. Belichick doesn't get credit for those, Brady does. And it must rub him the wrong way, and he must have gotten a gripe because of it. Because he's a football historian. His dad was a coach. He's been around this game his entire life. You don't think that after doing all these things, winning these many Super Bowls, that he doesn't want a place in history that's equal to Tom Brady, or if not higher? Right now, it's significantly less than, even though he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Even though people say he may be the greatest coach in NFL history, Belichick is still wildly underrated, not popular compared to Tom Brady, and that's understandable. But it's also understandable that it's a gripe. You hear about it every day. It starts to wear on you. And it becomes more personal as time goes on. That being said, according to this article, right, Belichick has great respect for Tom Brady. Belichick has respect for the greatness that Tom Brady brings to the table. But Belichick, not unexpectedly, wants to win without Brady to cement his legacy as the greatest coach ever and the greatest organizer of a system in football history. Right? He wants to do that. He wants to cement his legacy in a way that silences everybody. And that was with Jimmy Garoppolo. You know why? Because Jimmy Garoppolo was handpicked. Jimmy Garoppolo was chosen by Belichick as the next successor. And Jacoby Brissett was as well. Mind you, Jacoby Brissett is a decent quarterback. He's not bad. But he's a suitable starting quarterback, especially on a bad team. Jimmy Garoppolo is the future. Jimmy Garoppolo was the way Belichick could show, hey, I can identify talent, I can hone talent, I can win with my talent. Tom Brady may have been given to me, alright, but everybody else wasn't. I chose the guys. I won with Matt Castle. I'm going to win with Garoppolo and cement my legacy. That's what he wanted to do. Though he loved Brady, though he respected him, Garoppolo was Belichick's way of getting back at everybody that questioned him, that doubted that his success was due to Tom Brady only and not due to his football genius. Also, when you take away the personal reasons, there are many incentives, okay, to having Jimmy Garoppolo instead of Tom Brady. He's younger. He's got a better arm. He's learned under Brady. He has a lot of years left. And by the way, Tom Brady is middle of the pack this year. In December, he is. He is middle of the pack. He will continue to be that. I guarantee you Tom Brady does not have 5-6 years left. He may not even have 1 or 2. Belichick knows. Okay? In the story that was written, it says that the players could understand and could see signs of slippage because he was missing more practices. He was getting hurt. He was getting nicked up a bit more. They could see that slippage. Belichick could too. It's visible now in the performance. Garoppolo's young. He's healthy. Better arm. Had time to develop. He's the next Tom Brady. And Belichick, more than anything, wanted Garoppolo to be his legacy. Garoppolo was the guy he handpicked. He was going to be the successor that surpassed all expectations, that won games like Brady did, and Belichick was going to go down as the greatest coach ever. Now, in the next segment, I'm going to discuss how Tom Brady must have felt about this. The story talks about TB12 and John Gruden news, the latest out of Oakland, up next on the Ashish Narayan Sports and Political Podcast.